You have to believe me when I tell you that I only love you.
Okay, so then who's that other girl?
I keep telling you, that's my friend.
We're getting married next month. Huh? What is this lady saying? Who are you?
Oh, you got in the way of my plans.
My name is Taylor Kim, 28 years old. My family owns a bakery that's been around forever. I'm going to be the 7th generation store owner, and I go to the store to learn about the business every day. I grew up with baked goods throughout my childhood. Some would even say that I was obsessed with them. I've won first place at the yearly baking contest multiple times, making me rather famous within our town. I wanted others to understand how amazing baking is, so I started a blog. I post so many pictures of the things I've baked. I've gotten so much praise from people online. Through this blog, I met my current boyfriend, James. His family owns a confectionery that has been around for over 100 years now. The sweets they make are considered to be legendary.
The things you bake always look so amazing, Taylor.
He would send me such praises every day, and I started to become more interested in him. Today is going to be our first date. James took me to a park that was near an ocean. It was a beautiful sight. We sat on one of the benches at the park and looked at the ocean together.
This doesn't feel like our first time meeting. We get along so well.
Yeah, I thought the same thing as well. I replied. James has such a comforting aura. Before I knew it, I was head over heels for him. Thanks for always writing such wonderful comments on my blog.
No need to thank me. I'm always so excited to see what you post on your blog. I should be thanking you.
Hearing those words and seeing how genuine he was gave me butterflies. We had so much fun talking, time just flew right by. Thanks for an amazing day.
Taylor?
Yes?
Would you be interested in becoming my girlfriend? With the full intention of marriage, eventually.
I was stunned by the sudden forwardness, especially to a proposal-like question that I couldn't give an immediate answer.
I guess you would be a little surprised after being randomly asked something like that. You can take your time thinking of a response. Just know that I'll be waiting for you.
I can give you an answer now.
All right?
I do like you, James. I would love to be your girlfriend, and then eventually your wife. And that was the start of our relationship. James is such a wonderful person, and has supported me so much.
What kind of wedding would you like to have, Taylor? What if we collaborated on our trades and created a brand new dessert, served it at the wedding?
We started working together to make a new type of dessert with the skills of a baker and a confectionery. We spent every day tossing around ideas together. James would come up with things that I could have never imagined. My romantic feelings towards James had also developed into a sort of respect for him. I have to bake the most delicious pastry to make sure that I don't embarrass James. The moment I spoke those words to myself, I got a phone call from James.
Hey, Taylor, I have an issue I wanted to discuss with you. Are you free to meet me right now?
I rushed over to the agreed destination to hear what he had to say. He wanted to talk to me about his sister, who's 3 years younger than him. His sister just came back from studying abroad in France, and is now fighting with him over the rights to the confectionery. I wasn't aware that he had any siblings, so I was a bit surprised at the news. He continued to tell me more about the situation.
Taylor, for me to win the rights to the store, we're going to need to have a child.
A child? We're not even married yet.
You don't want to start a family with me?
Well, no, I would like to eventually, but it seems like James was convinced that if he has a child before his sister does, then he'll win. Wanting a child over something like this had raised some doubts about James for the first time, but because I liked James so much, I agreed. However, the doubts I have still linger deep within my heart. Can I marry him with feelings like this? As those thoughts were in my head, James said something that shocked me once again.
Since we're going to be husband and wife soon, I'll become the owner of your bakery, right?
What? What are you talking about? Of course that won't happen. The words had caused a sudden burst of panic and anger in my head.
Whatever the wife owns, the husband owns as well. So I think that it's completely normal for me to own the bakery.
James said dejectedly. He had planned to combine my family's bakery and his family's confectionery and create a brand new store. He assumed that he would be able to own both businesses with our marriage. My family's bakery is the most precious thing to me. I really can't think of giving the rights to someone. I continued to thoroughly explain to James why I refused to give away my bakery, and he eventually understood. However, James continued to look disappointed. From that day forward, his behavior completely changed. His obsession with the bakery grew further. Every time we would meet, he would always ask,
Isn't there some way I could become the owner of the bakery?
My heart breaks a little more each time. I truly do love you, James, but I think we need some time apart for the both of us. After I said that, we postponed the wedding and spent some time apart. Maybe the wedding won't happen after all. That is all I had in mind as I was reminiscing on the time I spent together with James. Eventually, I realized what I was feeling. I respected James so much for his dedication to his craft. The time we were trying to create a new type of dessert together was the most fun I ever had. Maybe, if we go back to doing that, we could go back to how it was before. With that in mind, I started studying confectionery along with continuing to work on my baking. Confectionery has such a deep history just like baking. I was having so much fun with all this new knowledge. As I searched for more things about confectionery online and through books, I was always thinking that baking is great, but confectionery is so interesting as well. I eventually got invested enough to meet with a different confectioner. They keep using the knowledge that was passed on for years as well as still keeping up with the times. I wanted to meet them so badly. I had contacted so many different people until I eventually was able to meet with them. A few days later, we met up at the hotel lobby. They were waiting on the sofa in the lobby waiting for me. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Taylor Kim. I had seen all your creations and wanted to meet you to ask about confectionery. Nice to meet you, Taylor. My name is Andrea Smith. I'd always wanted to meet you as well, so I'm glad to have finally been able to. She had such a friendly demeanor. Wait, did she just say that she's always wanted to meet me? What does she mean? I know that my bakery and such have given me a bit of popularity, but I didn't expect that a skilled confectioner like Andrea would know of me. We started talking about our passions for baking and confectionery. We seemed to have understood each other well due to our experience in our separate crafts. You're so passionate about confectionery. I have so much respect for you, Andrea. Where did you learn about confectionery? I was studying abroad in France and just recently came back to the States. She said excitedly. Wait, I've heard something like this before. As I was distracted by that, Andrea continued to talk. I have a brother who's 3 years older than me. Our family owns a confectionery store that's been around for over 100 years. Would your brother perhaps be... His name is James. I'm sorry that my brother has been causing you some problems. Andrea said to me apologetically. I realized what was going on and decided to talk with her more. I'm sure you've heard about how my brother and I are fighting over the rights to our family store. Yes, I have. James had no interest in confectionery at all, but all of a sudden he started claiming that he wants to own the store. What? What do you mean he didn't have an interest in confectionery? I was so surprised I stood up from the sofa. We spent time together trying to come up with a new type of dessert using our skills. While I was in complete shock, Andrea looked calm and somewhat remorseful as she talked. Those ideas he came up with were likely mine. She continued to explain that while she was in France, she was giving out ideas to the store back here in the States. That's when James decided to take those ideas and try to create a brand new dessert with me. Any feeling of respect I had for James immediately disappeared. After meeting you today, I can see how you are truly a wonderful person. That's why I think you shouldn't be involved with my brother anymore. After seeing that look on her face, I realized that there was more than she was letting on. Andrea, I won't react all loudly like I have been for the past while being here, so please, tell me everything that you know. I begged her. She told me things that I couldn't believe. The next day, I felt better than I had expected. I wonder if what Andrea told me is all true, I pondered. I still want to believe in James, but Andrea doesn't look like the type to lie. All of a sudden, I got a phone call from James.
Taylor, after not seeing you for a while, I started thinking. Me and you are meant to be together. Let's get married. Now.
After hearing those words, my thoughts were confirmed. Andrea did tell me the truth. I fully believe her now. I ended up not telling James that I had met with Andrea. I accepted the proposal. After I accepted, James would always come to visit me every day.
We can have the wedding ceremony anywhere you want, but let's also have a private one somewhere in the countryside for just the two of us. Wonder how much your family is willing to help out with the wedding. I want to get married to you as soon as possible.
James rambled on and on. It looks like he was in a rush to get married to me. James, what are you in a rush for? I asked. The answer he gave back sounded genuine.
I just want to be able to spend the rest of my days with you, Taylor. No other intentions, I swear.
I responded saying, I love you, James. Of course. I trust you. He seemed satisfied with my answer. I have to tell him something very important, though. James, I can't have your child until we get married.
Yeah, I understand. Sorry for rushing and dropping something big like that on you. We should think about children after we get married.
James responded. Even though James came to visit me every day, he would leave by noon. No matter how much I plead with him to stay by my side, he would never stay. One day, he said that he has to go on a business trip for a week.
I have to go up north for a meeting regarding the confectionery tomorrow. I'll bring you a gift.
Thanks, James. Be safe. The next day, I got a phone call from Andrea. Taylor, are you ready for this? Yeah, I'm prepared, I responded. We had so much plans to meet an hour later at an airport lobby. Let's stop James. Good luck, Taylor, Andrea cheered. I decided that I would call him first.
Hello? Taylor? I wasn't expecting you to call me. Is something wrong?
I just really wanted to see you, so I'm at the airport right now.
What? Why would you do that?
Where are you, James?
I'm about to board the plane.
Then we'll meet soon. As soon as I said that, I ended the call. I could easily tell over the phone that he was panicking. I figured he would be considered that he's trying to board a plane going overseas rather than a domestic flight up north as he had told me. Time to move on to the next surprise. Everything is prepared, Taylor. A few moments later, an announcement rang through the building. James Smith, your fiancé, Taylor Kim, is waiting for you at the check-in counter. The lady announced over the speakers. As I sat at the bench waiting for him, I couldn't help but think, wonder what face James is making right now. Gradually, the people around the area started to get a little antsy as a nervous James came running towards me.
Who does something like that?
James yelled. Standing next to him is a woman. James? Who is she?
Well, she's my friend.
Nice to meet you. I'm his fiancé. I'm sorry, I think I heard you incorrectly. James just got married to me. The woman said. She explained that she and James got married recently, and we were about to go on our honeymoon. James, what is going on here?
You guys, this is all a big misunderstanding.
As he said that, Andrea appeared. James, just stop. While me and James were spending time apart, he had been cheating on me. Andrea told me that he was going to marry that woman. She is the daughter of a successful CEO. It seems like James was aiming for money once again. His plans to marry me were for the same goal. He gets ownership and takes over. I couldn't let him go after learning that he was deceiving me, so I devised this plan with Andrea.
Andrea? You were the one who told her.
He yelled as he approached Andrea. He was about to swing at her before the security interfered and tackled him to the ground. You don't hit women, James, says his wife. All three of us watched him with pity as his life spiraled in these few minutes. The woman that we sat as the homewrecker eventually joined us in mocking him. Andrea saved the two of us from being deceived by James by telling us the truth. Thankfully, Since she hadn't turned in any documents for their marriage to be officiated, the woman's record is completely unscathed. Thank you both so much. If it weren't for you two, I would have been married to that man. A man who deceives women for money is such scum! The woman exclaimed. James couldn't even say anything back and got dragged away by security.
You better watch yourself, Andrea.
He yelled. I immediately blocked his view of her and told him this. Don't forget that Andrea has the two of us supporting her. James looked at all of us disdainfully as he continued to get dragged out. I turned to the other two and said, Now then, time for the three of us to go on a little vacation. We're about to have the best trip ever.